business to build some initial business credit. But if you really want to be successful and use business credit to fund your business, then what you need to do is build an entire portfolio that you're able to tap into at will to be able to get the credit you need. So today we're diving into exact steps for you to be able to build a business credit portfolio, to build your initial business credit, and then use that to kind of springboard off of to actually build a portfolio of credit that's available to you for like all of your needs, right? Credit lines for just about anything that you need to do in your business. So that's exactly what we're going to cover today. By the end of this training, you're going to know what a business credit portfolio is, how to build it, and how to get past this initial obsession of just building initial business credit, but actually get to the other side of that, to actually be able to use the initial business credit you're building to do the stuff you really want to do, to like grow the business and expand the business and pay for marketing and pay for vehicles and pay for all the stuff you need to pay for to get from a startup to a 6 to a 7 to an 8-figure business. That's exactly what we're going to cover today. If you're just coming in, tell me where you're coming in from. I always love to give you a shout out and say hello, and then name your business name here in the stream or even your location. So go ahead, give me a shout out. I'd love to say hello. All right. So first of all, let's talk about a business credit portfolio. So when we talk about a business credit portfolio, what I'm talking about is a portfolio of options you have when you need money to grow. Like if I want to buy a new computer here because mine goes kaput, then where do I go to buy that computer? How can I pay for that thing? Well, portfolio gives me options. I could use Staples. I could use Office Depot. I could use a Universal Visa card. I could use Best Buy, for example. And those are just a few of the hundreds of sources out there that are vendors that we could tap into. Or maybe I decide that I want to get a vehicle for my business and I want to wrap it and have that as my marketing method. Well, then a portfolio allows me to do that. I'm able to reach into this portfolio, pull out auto financing for hundreds of thousands, buy a freaking Lamborghini if I want to use as my main marketing method. Or maybe I want to market. Maybe it's time to me start advertising on Facebook or Google. Or better yet, I've tested ads on Google and it was a home run. And now I need to scale this thing to scale my business. Well, then a portfolio allows you to go into that and get a Universal card, a Visa card, a MasterCard, an American Express card, or even be able to get credit with vendors that's what they do, is they do digital marketing, and be able to use them and use that credit to be able to fund the business. So the portfolio really allows you to dip into and get the money you need for like 90% plus of the needs you typically have to be able to fund your business. There might be a little bit that you can't use the portfolio for, but the rest of that you can easily use cash or credit lines or loans to be able to do. So that's my goal, and that's our goal for today, is to help you build an actual portfolio that you could just jump into, pull out the money that you need to do whatever it is that's on your to-do list to be able to actually accomplish to get to your goal. And by the way, if you're just coming in, tell me where you're coming in from. I always love to give everybody a shout out. So we got Christopher here in Brooklyn, Alonzo in Austin, Texas, Henry's in Atlanta, and Jawan. I'm a Hoosier, man. I'm from Indiana. You can't just say Indiana. You got to tell me where you're from in Indiana, because I was born and raised there, and I can probably know exactly where you are if you just give me a shout out and tell me where. And Joanne says, hey, I have an appliance repair business, a loan broker business, hard money loans, credit repair, one-stop shop. Joanne is a busy guy. I love that. A lot of people in here doing a lot of really cool things. Okay, so that being said, let's dive in. So again, the building process is where so many people get obsessed. People try to build business credit. And to them, that means they get some starter vendors and they get some accounts on their Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Then they maybe get some more accounts. And then they come to me and say, Ty, I can't get the money that I need, because they just went through a few basic steps to actually build the basics of business credit. That's what we're talking about here. What we got to do is get a portfolio where we can just come in and get the money that we need. So how do we do that? How do we open up and unlock hundreds and hundreds of different sources that we can get credit from whenever we want it? Meaning AKA on demand. How do we get the funding we need on demand when we need the money to be able to do the things that we need to do? Well, there's some steps that we want to go through. So here's how we help clients navigate through this. So the very first thing you want to do is set up your actual business where it's fundable. Here, I'll show you exactly what this looks like. We basically call it our fundability score. So if we look at this, you can see exactly how we help our clients go through this exact same process, where what we're trying to do is figure out why somebody gets denied. So when you're trying to build a business credit portfolio, the very first thing that we have to do is we have to eliminate denials. We have to stop getting denied. And the reason for that is because that's what delays the process. So I oftentimes say that we help clients condense years of business credit building to only months. And here's what I mean by that. The reason we condense years to only months at Credit Suite is because most people, most clients we talk to, or most people we talk to before they become clients, they're actually failing to build business credit. They're applying and getting denied, applying and getting denied, applying and getting denied. And what happens in this scenario is that as a result of them applying and getting denied, they're really slowing down the actual business credit building process. So the very first thing we have to do is something that only Credit Suite does is we've got to figure out, why are you getting denied? We've got to fix the underlying reasons. If we don't do this, then as we try to build the portfolio of credit, we keep getting denied. And ultimately creates frustration and we quit. Ultimately, it creates this thought that it won't work for us. Ultimately, it creates these fears that I can't get money, when you absolutely can. We just got to stop the denials. Once we stop the denials, we get approved. So a perfect example of this is one of our clients, Thelma Sample. And I'll kind of get off the screen share and we'll come back to it. So Thelma's an example. She went in, she tried to get an American Express card, got denied. Went in and tried to get a credit line, got denied, right? Came to us and we said, okay, let's just look at some basic fundability stuff. We looked at one thing. We looked at what she put on her application and we matched it to her Secretary of State records. Well, we found some discrepancies. What she had put on her application didn't match Secretary of State. She updated things for her business and never went back to Secretary of State and updated it there. Very common. We see this with a lot of entrepreneurs. That was getting her denied. So we said, look, we're not going to do anything else. We want to fix one thing and see what happens, Thelma. So we fixed it. We updated the two. We sent her back. She went back to the bank and the same credit line she just got denied for, bam, she got an instant approval. The American Express card she just got denied for, bam, she got approved for a no-limit Amex card. This sounds astonishing, but it's not if you think about it. What was really happening from a bank's perspective is she's applying, saying she's this company with the Secretary of State. The bank says, okay, you are this company. Their computers go and take her data to match it with what they find with Secretary of State. It doesn't match. So what happens is the lender now is triggering a fraud alert. They're thinking it's fraud because what kind of business owner would apply with bogus information, right? Somebody that's trying to do some shady stuff. And that's what their computers are basically perceiving. But the reality is she wasn't trying to do shady stuff. She just updated business info. The application data was up to date. The Secretary of State was never updated. So when we updated it, now these two match. So from a lender's perspective, their computers take another shot at processing the application, say, boom, is applicant real? Information, match, boom, check, and it moves on. And that's why she got approved, because it wasn't her income, it wasn't her credit, it wasn't time in business. It was this mismatch that's causing the denial. So that's why the very first part of us building a portfolio, we got to freaking figure out why we're getting denied. And we got to fix that stuff immediately. Because when we're able to come in and fix the reasons that get us denied, then the next thing is we start getting an endless amount of approvals, and this gives us the ability to actually go through and build our portfolio. Now, we actually refer to this as our fundability score. So what we do with our clients is we actually come in and say, hey, look, your score is 0 to 890. This is the likelihood of your ability to get money from the system. And then we tell them when there are issues they need to fix. And when they fix the issues, fix the concerns lenders have that would get them denied, then their score goes up. They're more likely to get money. Here, I'll show you what this means. So if I'm looking at my fundability foundation, for example, I can clearly see there's an issue with my phone number. I can clearly see my fundability score is 489. So if I come here to business phone and I go, okay, well, I can either choose a phone number, but in this case, I don't need to choose a service to get a phone number. I already have one. So I'm going to come in here and say, hey, I actually do have a phone number. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter my number. I'm going to say who my phone number is through. I'm going to save it. Now, remember, my fundability score was 489. So when I come back here, what I see now is my scores now went to 516, meaning I'm now more likely to get funding. And now everything is a go. So think of it like this. If you fed your information, when you apply for a loan or a credit card, you are basically feeding your information into a computer. The computer is doing exactly what you see here. It is either a check or an X, meaning that you do not meet criteria they have or you do. So our goal is this. Our goal is all checks. We're good. We're go. But what you're doing is you're coming in and applying like this. Go, bad. Don't know, bad. Good, bad. Right? And so this is what it typically looks like when a business owner applies. And this is why you get denied, because this is good. This isn't good. This is a problem. This is good. This is good. Good, 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 good. This is a problem. And these problems are what are actually preventing you from being able to get denied. So we've got to look at the foundation of the business. We've got to look at the information you're putting on an application. We've got to look at credit reports that lenders use like LexisNexis and check systems. We've got to start building initial credit with the reporting agencies so we don't have these red flags stating that we don't have reports or we have inaccurate or negative information on our business credit reports. We've got to make sure we understand the financials that lenders and credit issuers want, and we've got to make sure it meets that criteria so we don't have these alerts that come up. So that's the very first step of this process. The very first step of being able to build the business credit portfolio is we've got to be able to come through and we've got to be able to understand what lenders are looking for, set up our business where it's actually fundable, the right entity, address, phone number, email, etc. And then from that point on, now we're able to start moving to the next step. Now, the next step is that we want to start building business credit, right? And we don't want to just build business credit to build business credit. What we want to do is legitimately use vendors that we can get approved for that sell stuff that we actually need. Then we can tap into these vendors and we can use them to get money that we really need to buy stuff we really need to buy. Then we're able to use that to be able to buy the stuff we need to buy, spend money on those accounts, and then get the stuff we need to grow our business. Then those accounts are poor. Now lenders not only see that we have an account, but they see we're using the account. This is very important. I see a lot of people ask me, hey, Ty, what's the minimum amount I can spend with a vendor? Well, that's the wrong question. If you're trying to spend as little money as possible and you spend $50 this month, do you expect to get a $5,000 or $10,000 credit line from another credit issuer next month? No way. But if you get a $1,000 initial starter vendor and you use 800 of that, well, man, 80% of the credit you were given, you used. So from a credit issuer's perspective, they say this person needs even higher limits because they're using such a high percentage of the credit they already have. You see, in the consumer world, that would hurt you. High utilization will hurt you. In the business world, it helps you because credit issuers see you're using the credit and they want to give you higher limits. So then you use their credit to replace whatever else is that you have because their limit's higher. And then you know you're going to wildly spend on that. And that's their chance to earn interest, et cetera, et cetera. Now, whether you pay it off before interest accrues or not, that's on your call. That's your call. But the idea here of building a business credit portfolio is we got to get credit we're really going to use. We've got to use that to grow the business so credit issuers see that we're using this credit. Then when they see that they're using this credit, now they'll issue us higher and higher limits in the future as well. And Joanne, you're from Elkhart, Indiana. I'm very familiar with Elkhart. Appreciate that. Spring Valley, New York's in the house. Don is right here with me. Don, you know I'm in Tampa Bay. I'm down here in Channelside right now. Like you and I are neighbors here in the same area. And Joanne says, hey, I did get a Divvy card and got rejected for capital on tap. Didn't understand that personal credit's in the 750 plus. So let's take a look at this. And I think right now what we're seeing is we are seeing that Joanne is bringing up the next point for me. I promise you, Joanne is not a plant. Joanne is just brilliant because Joanne is from Indiana, like I'm from Indiana. So what Joanne brings up a very good point. Joanne saying, hey, look, I tried to get money. I got approved. And then I went into the next source and I got denied. So you can see Mike, by the way, thanks for coming in from St. Louis. And somebody saying, hey, can I use an investor to get my business credit? It's possible. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Okay, so that being said, Joanne brings up a very good point, and this validates what I just said. Joanne says, I applied and got approved. I applied and got denied. So there's two main reasons that you are going to get denied when you build business credit. Reason number one, you jacked up your fundability. You did what most business owners did. You skipped your actual fundability and the credibility part of your business. You skipped fundability steps, and that's what's getting you denied. Your entity isn't set up right. There's a discrepancy with your Secretary of State. There's incongruent information. You're not using a professional email address or a separate address for your business or a separate funder for your business. There's 120 of these fundability points we calculate into a score to determine. And that's the number one reason business owners get denied. Number one, it's so crazy. It's not your income. It's not your credit. It's not your time in business. The number one reason business owners get denied is because you don't look legit. You don't look credible. When they're doing this check process I showed you for fundability, yours are X's, yours are exclamations and warnings. Okay, that's what's actually happening. Here, I'll show you what this looks like on a real report. So this is the only place that you're actually able to see real lender reports. So I want to share this with you. Okay, because what happens is you can actually come in. Actually, let me see here. So you usually there's only two places you can see lender reports through our system here. Okay, you can also be able to see it right here in if you're a lender. So you're either a lender or you're using for our system, our fundability system, to get actual lender reports. Okay, so that being said, what you're actually doing here, and I'm trying excuse my duck phone ringing. Hold on one second. Chanel, I screened you for a second. I'm on a live stream right now. Can I finish this and get back to you? All right. So that being said, I'm like the cool dad. So I have literally like 7 kids running around all over the place right now. And so they're calling me because the minute they're up, it's crazy. Like the kids can't get along. So please mind me. The only person that can ever break through on my phone is my kids for obvious reasons. So if you ever hear it ring, I can never shut off that capability. It's always on. Okay. So that being said, when we look at red lenders reports, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on lenders reports, they have, for example, right here, things that are called fraud flags, these warning flags, these triggers that tell them not to approve an application. So on this one, for example, less than a year in business and the corporate registration information is not available. So what they're saying is we can't even validate this company is real because what's happening here is we can't even access the information that we use to validate this. This is what lenders see from their perspective. They're looking at your income to make decisions. They're looking at your NAICS codes to make decisions. They're looking at these kind of warnings to make decisions about you. So that's why the very first thing that we've got to do is we've got to make sure that we improve that fundability. Now, and if we do so, that gets us over the main reasons that we're actually getting denied. Now, once we've done this, the next reason that we get denied is that we're applying for money in the wrong order. So if we look at business credit tiers, for example, trade vendor, we see that credit is broken down by tiers. Now, the number of accounts you need on your business credit reports changes all the time. But currently where we are is that when we look at vendors, we see that we're actually able, and I just had that pulled up, so let me go back. We see that you need 3 accounts to get to tier 2, 6 accounts to get to tier 3, 9 accounts to get to tier 4. So Credit Suite invented this tiering system because it's easy for our clients to understand when they can actually get credit and when they can't. Meaning that if you look at let's look at Home Depot, for example. So Home Depot may be tier 3. They may require 6 accounts on your business credit reports to approve you. But then if we look at Lowe's, well, then Lowe's might not be there at all. Lowe's might require 9 accounts to actually approve you. They may be a tier 4. So the reason I tell you this is that this is what gets people denied. They're applying for Lowe's when they only should be trying to get Home Depot. And I'm just using this as an example, okay? But I'm just saying that they're trying to apply for accounts that need more accounts on their business credit reports to approve them when they don't have that proper number of accounts. Those are the 2 main reasons that account for 95% of all denials when you try to get a business credit account. So, Juwan, back to your point, the reason you're getting denied is your fundability is either jacked up and you've got things you haven't fixed yet, or the second thing is you're applying for credit in the wrong order. You got Divvy because Divvy's up here in tier 1, but then when you went to get your second account, you're applying for an account that requires 6 trade lines when you only have 1, and that's what gets you denied, okay? So if we look at this a little bit deeper, now fundability makes this super simple because we only ever show clients what they can get approved for. So what I mean is that this system integrates with your business credit reports, okay, and it's only showing you the accounts you can get. You're never applying for stuff you can't get. You only ever see the accounts you can get. But so, for example, if I try to come in here and I try to get, let's say, GM, which is a tier 4. Well, actually, no, that's a bad example. Let me go back here and let me pull up a tier 4. So a tier 4 vendor, for example, for me would be JetBlue. Okay, so JetBlue is a tier 4 account. I am not going to get this unless I have 9 accounts on my business credit reports. It's not going to happen. So if I apply for JetBlue with only 2 or 3 accounts on my business credit reports, then what happens at that point is I am going to get denied because I don't have enough accounts. Now, JetBlue is not going to tell me that's why I was denied, but it is why I was denied. So that's why you've got to know the tiering system, and that's why you don't want to apply for credit out of order. If you do that, then the unfortunate part is that you get denied. You don't know why, and it's either fundability or it's either you're applying for credit in the wrong tier. So hopefully that kind of provides some insight, especially to Juwan there, of exactly what it is that causes you to get denied. Now Seth says, hey, I followed the credit suite. Okay. Let me pull this up here. So Scott says, hey, I followed the credit suite system with no revenue over the last 3 years, and Capital One TAC gave me $30,000 credit line. Just saying, keep up with it and stick with Credit Suite. Seth, I love you, man. That's like an impromptu testimonial here. Guys, look, this is exactly what I'm saying, right? So Jawan came in and said, I applied for Capital on Tap and I got denied. Seth says, I applied at Capital on Tap and got $30,000. What is the difference between these two people? The difference is that one has their fundability in line to be able to get approved, and they're applying for Capital on Tap when they have the proper amount of trade lines to be able to get approved. The other one either has issues with fundability and or doesn't have enough accounts to get Capital on Tap. So one gets a $30,000 credit line, one gets zero. Now, in your world, you'd rather be the person getting $30,000 credit lines. That is exactly what the tiering system actually allows you to do, is to know the types of credit you're able to get in the right order. And that becomes very, very, very important. Now, as you're doing this, now what's happening is we're basically getting the ability to just get capital on demand. And what I mean by that is now we're able to come in here and we're able to just start getting any of this that we need. So now all we have to really do is we just have to figure out what our needs are. And what I mean by that is, let's say that my need is shipping supplies. Well, boom, Uline, done. What if I need fleet credit or fuel credit? Well, here's Phillips 76, or I'm able to come down here and I'm able to get a lot of other ones. Here's Pilot Flying J, for example, or Kiwi Trip, or Fleet Pride. All these are fleet accounts. Or maybe that's not what I need. Maybe I need an actual credit line. Well, Credit Strong can help with that, or Fulton Bank can help with that as well. Or maybe I actually need marketing and advertising services. Well, Creative Analytics does digital marketing. They also do websites as well. Maybe I need new computers. Well, maybe I want to come here and go to Office Garner to get new computers amongst many other sources that are actually there, right? So if I come down, I say, maybe I need to get auto financing. Well, then I can either even come down here and I'm able to get auto financing with places like Ford or places like with Ally Bank, for example. Maybe I need to get clothes. Okay, well, then I want to get Lands End. Maybe I need to get like outdoor work supplies type stuff. Well, Tractor Supply might be able to help me with that. Or maybe I need shirts and swag for my business. Well, Business T-Shirt Club could do that. Maybe I need to travel and do presentations, and that's how I make sales. Well, then I probably want to get a credit with JetBlue or American Express, where I'm able to get that credit here as well, right? So you get the idea. Whatever it is I need credit for, I'm now able to come in and get. Whether it be Northern Tool, which I don't need, but if I was a contractor, I would. I'm not a contractor. I don't need Home Depot, but I do need Office Depot because I work in an office setting, right? So this is where we're able to start getting capital on demand. And what this allows us to do is build a portfolio of all of these different accounts that we have that we're now approved for. Okay, and our clients actually keep this right here in their funding manager. So these are all the accounts that I'm already approved for. This is all the credit I already have. I got 10,000 here, 10,000 here. So this is all the credit I have. So now I know exactly what's in my portfolio. And now when I need to buy something from Murphy USA, for example, or Cumgo, then I can easily come in here and be able to tap into that. Or if I don't have something in my portfolio that fits my needs, then what I'm able to do is come in and go back to actually getting that kind of credit that I need to get and adding that to my portfolio. Now, what's really interesting about this when you do this is you're going to find that 90% of what you may need to buy, you're able to actually use business credit to buy. I don't even need to get to loans. I don't even need to get to credit lines. By building a business credit portfolio like this one, everything that I need to buy, I basically can use an account in my business credit portfolio to buy. Now, here's why that's important. It's important because this kind of credit doesn't require a personal guarantee. This kind of credit doesn't require a personal credit check. This kind of credit doesn't require any kind of revenue. As we just saw with Seth coming in, Seth said, I got a $30,000 credit line. I don't even have revenue. We don't need revenue to get business credit. We don't need collateral to be able to get business credit as well. So what happens is business credit is a solution any of us can get, no matter what our scenario is. We're able to build this portfolio, and then this portfolio basically funds almost anything we need in our business. Like right now, you'd have a hard time going to chat and typing in something common you may need for your business that I couldn't use one or many of the accounts in my portfolio here to be able to go and buy, right? I can go to Costco to buy TVs or printers or whatever I need, for example. I can go to Howard Bank to get, actual Visa cards, Universal cards, MasterCards or PNC Bank, for example. So again, all the stuff I need, I'm able to tap into my business credit portfolio to get. I don't even actually need to come in here and be able to go out and get loans and credit lines. I'm still going to get them, but they're more difficult to get, which is one of the reasons that we need to be able to get business credit first. It's just easier to get. The other nice thing is that we also get rewards points. So we get cash back, we get promotional points. And in a lot of cases, those promotional or the cash back could pay for your next hotel stays. It could pay for your next vacation. It could pay for your next business trip. It could pay for your airfare. Or you get 2 to 4 points on groceries, or 2 to 4 points on office supplies, or 2 to 4 points back on fuel, or 2 to 4 points back on everything that you spend. So that's just free found money. Like for every $100 I spend, I'm getting $2 to $4 back that I can use for other things, or sometimes even more than that. Now, $2 to $4 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I'm not spending $100. I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars. So what's really happening is I'm getting hundreds or thousands of bonus points back to me or cash back to me that's just found money. As a matter of fact, many people in my circle, they consider it to be found money, and they only spend it like for them personally. Meaning that I was just, for example, with a buddy of mine, we were literally running with the Bulls in Spain, and his entire trip was paid for based on points. Just running his normal business, he got enough points to pay for his airfare, his hotel, to travel to multiple countries and end up in some obscure place in the middle of Spain to do the event. So that's it. That's exactly what we're going after. Now we're just spending money regularly, and we're getting cash back, and we're getting points on it as well. And then we're also creating a history for lenders and credit issuers to see. So it's not like I'm using my debit card. Now I'm getting points back for that purchase. And the next lender or credit issuer that I want to apply with is seeing that I'm using that credit. They're seeing that I'm getting credit. I'm using credit. And that makes them more inclined to give me money as well. Now, Joanne says, hey, probably both. Not enough accounts, and I have a few more steps in the business setup. So that's exactly it. And that's what causes you to get denied. Look, if you are fundable, if everything is green and your fundability score, like in our system, is 900 plus, and you have enough accounts to be able to apply for that account you're trying to apply for, you're going to get approved, period. That's the way it is. If you ever get denied, it's always one or both of those reasons that get you denied. Now, Joanne says, hey, so you can go over a business phone number. Like, what's the difference between Google Voice and Ring Central? Well, for some reason, a lot of credit issuers don't like Google Voice. We recommend to our clients that you stay away from that. But a voice over IP number will work just fine. Most of them, CallRail, Ring Central, Freedom Voice, almost all those will work, but you want to stay away from Google Voice. For address, you want to stay with a business address, not a personal address. So you might even want to choose like a Regis, Alliance, or DaVinci type of virtual office as well. And again, I've got training. If you go to creditsuite.com, actually, matter of fact, what I'm actually going to do right now is I actually have a fundability mini course that's 100% free that goes through all of this with you. Let me see if I can pull that up right here. I just pulled this up. So all you have to do is go to creditsuite.com/foundation or scan this QR code. And I have a complete free mini course that maps out foundation or fundability foundation in depth. So just go ahead and grab that. We don't have enough time to cover everything to do with fundability right now. But if you go to this link or scan this QR code, this will get you access to a free mini course that'll walk you through everything to do with your fundability foundation. And then that's going to actually help you set up your business where you're fundable. And that's going to help you prevent a lot of the reasons that are typically going to be able to get you denied. Okay. And then we've got VJ. Hey, this is amazing information. Thanks, Ty. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming in. So now what we do is we understand that we're starting to use credit versus debit cards versus cash. We start to have more money in the bank because we're strategically using other people's money to be able to grow our business, like all the biggest privately owned and publicly owned companies do. We're using the credit we're given. We understand the more credit we get, the more tiers of credit become available to us. We're stopping to use our debit card and cash and starting to use more credit. And now we're putting as many expenses as we can on this actual credit card. So let me give you an example of how the smartest people around me do it. When I'm in Pamplona, Spain, actually, no, I'm in Madrid at this point, and I'm sitting beside one of my closest friends, Roy, who also owns a very successful financial services company. And these guys are going tit for tat about how many points they get, the best cards to use for points. And Roy says, hey, I take all the people that I pay in the Philippines, and I put that on my credit card every month. $150,000 just in outsourced personnel that I put on my credit card every month. And as a result of spending that $150,000, I basically never need to pay for airfare. Just because I take a normal expense I have, outsourcing to people in the Philippines, your expense could be different than his, and I put that on a credit card, I get enough points from that normal purchase to pay for all of my air travel no matter where I go. This is how the smartest people around me are doing it, okay? Another one of my guys is sitting at the same table goes, oh yeah, I do real estate, and I build high-end luxury rental properties, and then I spend $150,000 to $250,000 for the furniture, and I put it all on business credit cards, and I get all my points back on that, and then I use that to be able to pay for all my hotels. And this was literally, it was a tit for tat competition, but every single one of them was talking about how they take their normal everyday expenses, my utilities, my rent, my car payments, my actual, any outsourcing, anything they can do, and they're putting on credit cards to be able to open up more and unlock more credit for them and to be able to get the points and the rewards. And that's exactly what you want to do as well. Is you want to move as many things to credit as you can, show a history of this. This will get you higher and higher limits in your portfolio as you continue to build it. This will get you points back, cash back that's free and found money that you can use for all of these other different purposes. And in doing so, you're creating this portfolio that ultimately improves the value of your business. Now your business is more valuable because you've got this deep business credit profile and score built. Now you can go get credit lines and loans at will because when they pull your business credit reports, they see you've got 15 accounts on there. And you're spending $1,000 here and 10 grand there a month. And my buddy, $150,000 a month. Imagine how easy it is for him to get a no limit Amex when they pull his business credit report. They see $150,000 he's spending every month on his Amex account. So that's the key to building the portfolio. Stop spending money like you're spending freaking money. Stop paying it with a check. Stop paying it with a debit card. Stop paying it with cash. Start paying it with credit. Create a track history to lenders and credit issuers of what you're doing. Get higher and higher limits in the future as well. Get points and cash back on everything you're spending, and then pay the stuff off before interest accrues. No harm, no foul. It costs you no money to do this. $0. You pay no more money in interest. But you're making yourself more appealing to lenders and credit issuers. You're getting all these rewards, all this cash back as well. You're freeing up cash in your business you can use for other reasons like expansion, growth, payroll, things you might not use the business credit typically for. That is how we build a business credit profile and use it wildly to be able to qualify for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Our client, Christine, $1 million plus in business credit. Couldn't even get approved for anything before we started talking to her. My buddy Kylan, the same way. Okay, Marlon McKinney, one of our other clients, $1 million plus in business credit. So what happens there? I literally just met with another client right down here for dinner 2 weeks ago when I was in town before I left, and he just showed me a brand new BMW he was able to get using business credit. Loved it. The guy's telling me, literally, I went from being homeless to now multiple companies. Now he's a partner out offering business credit. He's buying cars. He's able to get all of these approvals, and people are pre-screening him for approvals because he built his business credit portfolio. And we're just laughing about it. He's like, Ty, it's crazy. I went to go get this thing. He goes, I went to Fundbox, because I wanted to enroll with you guys. I thought, why not? I'll just finance the thing instead of paying cash. He goes, you know how much of a credit limit they gave me? I go, how was your credit line? He goes, 50 grand. He goes, I got a $50,000 credit line with him. That's it. And we're just laughing because you know what else I did? I went here and got this credit line. I went here and got this credit line. I went in to buy something at Best Buy, and I was like, yeah, I'll apply for a credit card with no personal guarantee or credit check. And I got $30,000. And we're just laughing hysterically about how he went from being homeless to being able to get $1 million plus in business credit accounts. That's what it's like when you build a portfolio. And this is exactly how you're able to do it. Now, if you need help along the way, we've dropped the mini course link in here, and I'm going to pull up our free finance assessment for you as well. So our finance assessment, our team will talk to you, tell you what's jacked up with your fundability. So you got things wrong with it. We're going to tell you what to fix. We're going to give you tips and tactics to build your business credit, and we're going to tell you all the lending you can get now, the loans, the credit lines, stuff you don't even think you can qualify for. We're going to help talk to you about the stuff you can get right now. 100% free. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to creditsuite.com/console. And while you're there, ask them about your fundability score. Tell them you want to see your fundability score, and they can talk to you a little bit more about getting access to fundability to see your fundability score system. Our fundability system is like a low monthly subscription you can just cancel anytime. so you can get access, check out your fundability scores, see what needs to be fixed, fix all the stuff to become more fundable, and then immediately match with all the business credit and lending sources you're able to get approved for. It'll just cut time off the process, help you stop getting denied, and help you start getting approved. So that's it for me. Also, one more thing I want to mention: if you are interested in offering business credit and business credit and lending as a service, scan this QR code or go to businessloanbrokerchallenge.com. 100% free event, starts the last week of July. We're soup to nuts. We teach you everything you need to know to become a business loan broker. We teach you how to market your business, how to build your branding, everything you need to know about financing. We bring the lenders in. You can get signed up with to offer business credit and financing. You can do it as a primary or a secondary business. One of our clients, Sandy, did this as a secondary business. I was with her at 2 events, and in one day, she made 25 grand in sales. And in another event, she made 25 grand in sales in another day. She's even got that verbiage on an actual testimonial for us. So tons of income potential with offering business credit and lending as a primary or secondary service. If you want to know how to do it for free, scan the QR code or go to the businessloanbrokerchallenge.com to register. That takes place the last week of this month. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I look forward to seeing you on our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business. Thanks, everybody. Take care.